Have our tools replaced us? Since the beginning of time, people have been using tools to make their lives easier. First stone, then bronze, then iron, and now steel. With the advent of farming tools, more people were freed up to focus on civilization and thus followed progress. As things began to be more efficient, more people were able to be supported, and humanity grew into towns and cities. The more efficient tools you made, the more powerful you were as a culture. Recently in human history, we have created and done things unimaginable to humanity just 100 years ago. We have gone to the moon. We can talk with people in 10 different countries all around the world at the same time. We can do more things on our handheld devices now than Star Trek ever had. And we've gone further and faster than even the great visionaries of the past ever dreamed we would. Truly, we are powerful. This is, of course, only possible with the advancements we've made over the years and the efforts in increasing the efficiency of our tools. But have we created tools so efficient that they no longer even need us? The answer, in some cases, is yes. Without the last several decades, huge companies have made the leap to implement robots to do simple, repetitive tasks. The problem is, as technology improves more and more, jobs will be considered just strings of simple tasks and be replaced by robots or programs. At this rate, huge portions of jobs will be replaced by automation, with some estimates reaching as high as 33%. But how do we solve the issue of people being put out of work and not being able to survive in this post-automation era? There are three possible solutions that we could go for. The first solution is a basic universal income for people in America, which advocates argue free money could provide workers with flexibility to retrain for new careers, pursue creative interests, or start their own business. Schultz. The other option is to prevent certain jobs from being replaced through legislation. Of course, another answer is that there doesn't need to be a limit to the technology, and there doesn't need to be a universal basic income either, but rather a shift in the type of work and entrepreneurship, as mentioned by Matthew Taylor at an interview with James Manyika. They said, "We lapse into a kind of technological determinism that says that human beings must do whatever the robots and AI make possible. And I want to say no. Let's start from the notion of good work and good lives, and then see how this amazing stuff can enable to take the drudgery out of work, but leave the stuff that's really interesting." Each of these options has their own positives and negatives that need to be explored, but regardless, change will happen whether it's universal basic income, or a limit to the application of technology, or shifting and adapting to automation as a whole. Bibliography. Manyika, James, and Taylor Matthew. Rethinking the Workplace, Flexibility, Fairness, and Enlightened Automation, published by McKinsey Quarterly, 2017. This is a piece of discussion between James Manyika and Matthew Taylor about the future of jobs in the workplace with the rise of robots and machines. They discuss the possible types of jobs that will be made possible with robotics, as well as how to deal with the displacement of people from their careers. This talk is mostly important to people in the working class that would feel threatened by what would happen to them. The overall tone is positive, though, and takes the position that while some jobs will be replaced, it won't be as bad as predicted, and will provide many more positives than negatives. Mihelich, The Automation of HR, take us to your CHRO. Workforce, the 9th of November, 2017. Pages 38 through 64. This article is written by Max Mihelich. It is all about how technology currently features a place in the workforce and how robotics and learning programs will affect the future. This is mostly with having to do with white-collar jobs that are often very repetitive and monotonous sections that can be done by machines, allowing people to focus more on complicated and imaginative things. This is primarily targeted at white-collar workers and HR workers. Neumann, Peter G. Risks of Automation, a Cautionary Total System Perspective of Our Cyberfuture by Communications of the AMC, Volume 59, Number 10, published in 2016. Page 26 through 30. This piece is a scholarly article in the publicly published Communications of the AMC. It is largely deals with the automation and computer assistance in and around vehicles, namely planes and cars. It describes the recent and future advances in automated driving systems, smart controls, as well as possible legislation on how to deal with them. Most people that it is targeted at are people in the fields of development, lawmakers, and concerned citizens. It details and concerns risks about quick and cheap solutions to problems promoted by this type of a race to automated vehicles. Schultz, Elizabeth. 1 year on. Is Finland's free money experiment working? By CNBC on the 1st of January 2018. This piece tells of the universal basic income experiment and how it is going at the time, as well as few comments by the experiment subjects. The main target of this piece is the general public and people that are interested in the idea of free money. Many well-informed members of the public and government speak of the experiment in a positive light, pointing to the shortcomings of the Finnish welfare system and its bureaucracy. It also mentions the irony of Finland cutting parts of its welfare system partway through. Zino Jane, The Impact of Automation on the Independent Workforce, by Forbes magazines in August 2017 on the 28th. The Impact of Automation on the Independent Workforce talks of how the rise of automation has improved many businesses. It speculates that many companies will return to the U.S., bringing jobs with them. It also talks about the shift in skills and focuses and responsibilities that workers and businesses are working through and will continue to work through in the future. The target audience is independent businesses, independent workers, and employees. Its tone is generally positive, but it does mention that finding workers with the required skills and experiences or training takes them a lot of time and effort, despite the fact that over 40% have a bachelor's degree of some kind.